Alright, welcome to EVE Online. Just gonna hang out, Cheetah, watch the video, and talk about. Let's talk about what happened at FanFest. Let's be realistic here. And this is my opinion. I don't need yours on my opinion. Thank you. Um, yeah, trolls on YouTube. Yeah, pretend to be pretend harder to be not clueless, okay guys? But yeah, this is just the reality here. And if you scratch the surface of their corporate projects, you scratch the surface of their shipcaster stuff, if you just attempt to scratch the surface without being white knighty, you'll realize that what happened at FanFest was they talked about how uh, they use their talking points to push NFTs again. We're all about carbon and quasar, but we're not about NFTs. Although that's a third party. That we're carbon and quasar. Our NFTs are going to be a third party introduced thing. Yeah, blah blah blah. And then they had, they hyped up their carbon, which they've been talking about for years, and they hyped up their quasar, which they've been talking about for years, and it's not a solution to tie dye. They promised us two legs. One was tie dye, another was the other part of the solution that would take longer, they said. Uh, but it hasn't happened. And the deafening silence and the forced cheers of FanFest are indications of that. And then you go further and you look at, okay, well, they're talking about this new ZARS system where you can shipcast to the front lines, blah, 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 blah. Just look at the shipcasters. Just look. Just try to scratch the surface of current shipcasting in the current shipcasters. Just think about it. Just do the math. Scratch the surface on that, and you'll realize it's a landmark now. They're landmarks. They're literal landmarks now. And you do the same for the corporate projects. It's their half-assed system. I finally took a look at it. Their half-assed corporate project system is so half-assed that it's so devoid of any understanding, not only of the way CCP has promoted these enforcer industrialist soldier of fortune and explorer kind of thing, the four classes of Eve, they've not even integrated that understanding into their agency, let alone this newer half-assed interface for uh, opportunities for their corporate. Oh, it's just so horrifically bad. And they're talking about, oh, we're improving it. It's like, no, you're fixing barely the horrible system you have now, and you're still not integrating it into the larger picture of what you're trying to hype the entire NPE is for too. It's like there's such a disconnect. It's just horrifying to actually scratch the surface, and you don't want to scratch the surface. Continue with the white knighting, watching Ashtarothi and all the other white knighters on freaking talking in stations and stuff, and it's blah 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 blah. How great Eve is! It's like, no, it's a clusterfuck. Play Eve, enjoy it for what it is that you can make it. Take the mechanics that are part of the game that will help infuse your playstyle, and treat CCP as literally irrelevant. Oh, they'll have temper tantrums when they realize they're irrelevant, which they do, and they will. You saw Berger yell at the audience to cheer. It's like, please clap. Jesus Christ. So yeah, I mean, basically, that's the nutshell of Eve. You got We got 2 new destroyers that you can see in game right now. We've got a Promise Titan and a Promise battle cruiser, 2 more battle cruisers, which help flesh out the 2 neglected ship trees, which is great. But where is the thought mentality behind anything other than that? There's nothing. All we got were 2 new destroyers. That's it. That is it for FanFest. Congratulations, you got 2 new destroyers, and we're trying to attempt a patch for the horrible corporate projects. And check this out. This is literally what they probably talked about at meetings. They're like, "Oh, millennials like yeeting. Let's make shipcasters." That's going to be it. And when they get embarrassed because shipcasters are complete landmarks, they will either, it depends on the level of embarrassment they feel. They might actually do something about it, or they could go, "Oh, ungrateful millennials." It's basically, that's it. That is the entirety of their thinking process on this, because they're literal landmarks. There's no activity, there's no beacons, there's nothing. It's just nobody uses them because they're freaking useless. Because nobody wants to freaking yeet. And it costs like 120 million to make it. And it's like 120 million to make one of these beacons. And it's not a random spawn location. There, you could build them. You can complete the building anywhere you want, which is great. Okay, you just cost 120 million. Somebody could blow up easily, and what do you get out of it? Oh, you can go to the staging system, which is far away from any market hub, and then you could stage from there instead of, like, scouting your way into the systems you want and staging from those systems. So the interface they have for both shipcasters and corporate projects are so half-assed and shitty that nobody wants to use them. It's just the thinking behind it is just like they do. It's just them. They never learn. The way Berger yelled at the audience is how they do their meetings. It's sweaty yelling meetings. The person who squeaks the loudest gets the oil for their wheels. It's basically it. You've got a system where these people have no clue how to make a first-person shooter, and yet they're driving through with yet another half-assed, "Oh, it'll totally integrate with Eve," like they've said in the past, which never pans out. And they haven't learned. Just look at the same people doing the same old thing, the same bullshit, forcing the newer developers to trot them out after they've done their chest beating and try to salvage a situation which is beyond redemption and make it look glossy. And they did. They made it look glossy. I feel sorry for the people who waste their time going to FanFest, but whatever. I mean, I feel sorry for the people who volunteer their time on Rookie Help and Help Channel to help people. I mean, it's a great service they're doing, and it's kudos to them. It's like, Jesus Christ. The level of giving a shit by CCP is patently obvious. Patently is painfully apparent. So yeah, like I said before in this video, just take the bits that you can and run with it. And unfortunately, there are some interesting, like, you can watch my videos on scratching the surface. There are interesting aspects of each that could potentially be a good thing for you in the future. There was a lot of I wishes in those 2 videos at how to improve the system, but there are limited ways you can take advantage of the corporate projects to track, like, a ledger of your corporate activities that everybody's doing. Hopefully it's a non-consensual thing that you could monitor all activity in your corporation, that would be great. It would be nice if you could have alliance projects that you could track your activity across corporations and see which corporations are actually contributing. But it's just corporate projects. It's just a whole pile of crap, basically. I mean, I'm sure I'm missing a few things that they talked about at FanFest that added to the game by fluke more than design. But yeah, you'd be hard pressed. So I ain't seen nothing. Hopefully that was informative. Hopefully that gave you an overview of what I was talking about, blabbing away in my other videos. But yeah, that's your TLDW for the entire FanFest. Hopefully that was enlightening and didn't waste your time. Have a good one, guys. And I think did I go through the entire, like, this is probably, I'm assuming, greatly expanded in length at the time because of all the player advertisements. Not sure if I blab long enough to go through it all. I'm assuming I didn't blab for that long. Like, usually it takes 15 minutes for the video to be completely gone through, but I do believe I've seen this before, so I can happily stop recording, I'm assuming. Divinity Social was where I started this from, just after that advertisement. Pretty sure I haven't seen it yet. There it is. Perfect. Excellent. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Hopefully I didn't waste your time. And please, yeah, I might be a bitter vet, but you'd be hard pressed to argue the devil's advocate of being negative. I'm sorry. There's if you want positivity, go watch Astrothy. I mean, he's great at what he does, and I applaud that kind of, like, you have to. You know, it's great stuff. Anyways, have yourself a good one.